Welcome to Practical Biochemistry 1 class. It's great to see all of you here as we dive into enzyme kinetics this semester. In this class, you'll get hands-on experience with some fascinating experiments that will deepen your understanding of how enzymes work. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you to read and follow the safety guidelines in your lab manual. This is crucial for a smooth and safe learning experience. Also, please take a moment to watch the briefing video to get a sense of what we'll be doing in the lab next week. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the class session.
Label the test tubes according to the table in the lab manual. Add buffer solution to all test tubes. Make sure you measure the correct volume as shown in the table. Discard the used pipette tips into the designated waste bin. Next, add the substrate. Important: check the table carefully to identify which test tubes should not have substrate added. These will be one of your control tubes. Again, discard the used tips in the waste bin. Finally, add the enzyme. Important: check the table carefully to identify which test tubes should not have enzyme. These will be your control tubes for the experiment. Once all components are added to the test tubes as listed in the table, bring the test tubes to the incubator for incubation. Refer to the lab manual for the duration of the incubation. Each experiment might need different duration. Before the incubation time ends, make sure you're ready with the TCA solution and pipette so that TCA can be added immediately upon completion of the incubation period. Make sure you stop the reactions in all tubes as quickly as possible. After stopping the reaction, bring all test tubes back to your bench for the next steps. Now that the reaction has been completed, we are ready to detect the product. Add reagent A to each test tube. In the presence of the product, reagent A will react and change the color of the solution from colorless to blue. Next, we will measure the concentration of product formed in the reaction using spectrophotometry. Take a 3 ml cuvette and carefully transfer all the solution from your test tube into it. Avoid creating any bubbles. Set the wavelength to 660 nanometers on the spectrophotometer. Insert your blank/control tube into the cuvette holder. Press Auto 0, and wait until the display shows 0.000. Take out the blank cuvette. Pour your blank solution back into its test tube completely. Then use the same cuvette to measure the absorbance of each reaction sample one by one. Write down all absorbance readings from each reaction tube. Congratulations! Now you are ready to perform all of the experiments in the enzyme kinetics part. I'll see you next week. Have a good weekend ahead.